$341 million. That's what Francisco Lindor got paid to play shortstop for the New York Mets. But 15 years ago, this same guy was putting baseball cleats on layaway in Puerto Rico, waiting 3 months and paying $20 at a time to get a pair of shoes. How does that even happen? How does a kid who couldn't afford cleats become the highest paid shortstop in baseball history? The answer is absolutely wild, and it starts with a cracked bat and a whole lot of dirt. Lindor still talks about how incredible it felt to lace up those shoes after months of saving. That's character building right there, people. That's where legends are born. Fast forward to age 12. Decision time. Lindor's moving to Florida by himself to attend Montverde Academy. No mom, no siblings, doesn't speak English, doesn't know a soul. Just a 12-year-old kid with a dream and a baseball glove. Most kids would absolutely crumble under that pressure. Most parents wouldn't even consider it. But Lindor, an entirely different breed. The language barrier didn't matter because his glove spoke fluent baseball. This kid was so freakishly talented that coaches didn't need words to understand what they were watching. Pure, raw, unbelievable skill. By senior year, MLB scouts are practically camping outside his games. We're talking about a switch-hitting shortstop with gold glove defense and serious pop in his bat. That combination is rarer than finding a unicorn. Florida State offers him a full ride, which should be the dream, right? College, education, playing time. Then Cleveland calls, 8th overall pick in the 2011 draft, $2.9 million signing bonus. That layaway kid from Puerto Rico just became a millionaire at 17 years old. The American dream doesn't get more American than that. But here's where Lindor separates himself from every other prospect. He didn't just make it to the majors, he absolutely obliterated the minor leagues. Most guys take 4, 5, 6 years to develop. Lindor shot through Cleveland's system like he was late for dinner. June 14th, 2015, MLB debut day. First at-bat as a major leaguer, base hit. That's Francisco Lindor in a nutshell. He's gonna make spectacular plays, and he's gonna make mistakes, but he's always gonna bounce back stronger than before. His rookie numbers were absolutely stupid good. 313 batting average, 12 homers, 51 RBIs, American League Rookie of the Month in September. This wasn't just a successful rookie season, this was a complete and total announcement that a superstar had arrived. But 2016, that's when the entire baseball world lost their minds watching this kid play. 301 average, 15 home runs, 78 RBIs, wins his first gold glove. Those are all-star numbers, but the real story was happening in October. Cleveland hadn't sniffed a World Series since 1997. Their fans had been waiting 19 years for this moment, and leading the charge, 23-year-old Francisco Lindor. This kid put up 7 multi-hit games in the postseason. That's a record for anyone under 23. Every clutch moment, every pressure situation, every time Cleveland needed a spark, Lindor is delivering like he's been doing it for decades. They lost to the Cubs in 7 games, one of the greatest World Series ever played. Heartbreaking for Cleveland, but Lindor proved something massive. He belonged on the biggest stage in baseball. At 23 years old, he was already carrying an entire franchise on his shoulders. Now, let's talk about what makes this guy absolutely special. Range like a gazelle, arm like a cannon, baseball IQ off the charts. He makes impossible plays look so routine, it's almost boring. The bat, this isn't just contact hitting. This is legitimate 30 home run power with gap-to-gap ability and clutch gene DNA. From 2017 to 2019, Lindor was putting up video game numbers. 30-plus homers every single year. Gold gloves, silver sluggers, all-star selections. But here's the most impressive stat. He played over 160 games every season. This dude doesn't take maintenance days and doesn't coast through meaningless games in September. He's grinding every single night, like it's Game 7 of the World Series. Then January 2021 hit like a lightning bolt. Francisco Lindor was traded to the New York Mets, the biggest market, the brightest lights, the most demanding fans in baseball. And before he even plays a game, boom, 10 years, $341 million, the richest contract for a shortstop in the history of professional sports. But here's where the story gets really interesting. His first season in New York was absolutely brutal. 230 batting average, career lows across the board, fans booing him at home games. The pressure was suffocating him. There was even that incident where he made a gesture toward fans that did not go over well with the New York media. Lesser players would have completely folded under that pressure. Lindor, he used every single boo, every negative headline, every doubt as rocket fuel for the next season. 2022 was his complete and total redemption story. 270 average, 26 homers, and here's the big one, 107 RBIs, which set a Mets franchise record for a shortstop. But more important than any numbers, he became the emotional leader that the clubhouse desperately needed. When things got tough, when the season was falling apart, Lindor was the guy holding everyone together. Then, 2023 happened, and Francisco Lindor made baseball history. 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. You want to know how rare that is for a shortstop? He's only the third shortstop in the entire history of Major League Baseball to accomplish that. We're talking about completely rewriting what's possible at the most demanding position in the sport. But here's what really makes Lindor a legend. Everything he does away from baseball. Remember that kid who couldn't afford cleats? He donated $1 million to Montverde Academy to help build new facilities. He started a scholarship fund for underprivileged kids who need help getting to college. When Hurricane Fiona demolished Puerto Rico, he donated $50,000 for relief efforts without any cameras around, without any publicity. This guy gets it. He remembers exactly where he came from, and he's using his platform to lift other people up. That's not just being a great player, that's being a great human being. And speaking of platforms, Lindor became the first Latino MLB player in over 20 years to get his own signature shoe deal. The New Balance Lindor one is designed with Puerto Rican hibiscus flowers all over it because he never ever forgets his roots. That's following in the footsteps of Roberto Clemente, the legendary Puerto Rican player who was the first Latino to have a signature shoe way back in 1972. In 2024, the Mets nominated Lindor for the Roberto Clemente Award, given to the player who best represents outstanding character and philanthropy. That's massive because it connects him directly to the greatest Puerto Rican player who ever lived. Lindor's not just following Clemente's path, he's creating his own while honoring that incredible legacy. Last season was Lindor's absolute masterpiece. 33 home runs, career high 138 OPS+, finished second in MVP voting behind only Shohei Ohtani. At 30 years old, he's playing the absolute best baseball of his entire career. The Mets made the playoffs, and guess who was the engine driving every single rally? Francisco Lindor. So, what separates him from everyone else? It's not just the talent, though he's got that in ridiculous amounts. It's not just the numbers, though they're absolutely incredible. It's the consistency. It's showing up every single day with the exact same energy, the same commitment, that same smile that earned him the nickname Mr. Smile. Lindor doesn't just play baseball. He makes everyone around him better. His teammates play harder because of his energy. Fans get more excited because of his passion. Kids in Puerto Rico dream bigger because of his example. That's not just being a great player. That's being a transformational leader. From barefoot grounders in Caguas to $341 million in New York, that's not just a baseball story. That's the American dream with a Puerto Rican twist. And the best part? Francisco Lindor is nowhere near finished. He's chasing that World Series ring, and the way he's playing right now, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Francisco Lindor became a legend through talent, through perseverance, through character, and through never forgetting where he came from or giving up on where he wanted to go. That Layaway kid is now one of the faces of Major League Baseball, and he earned every single dollar of it. The kid who waited 3 months to buy cleats on Layaway is now making more money than entire MLB franchises used to be worth. But he still plays every game like he's that barefoot boy in Puerto Rico trying to prove he belongs. That's what makes him legendary. Not the contract, not the accolades, but the heart that never changed despite everything around him transforming completely. When Francisco Lindor steps into the batter's box at Citi Field, he carries the dreams of every kid in Puerto Rico who's ever picked up a baseball. He represents every family that's ever scraped together money for equipment, every parent who's ever made sacrifices for their child's future, and every player who's ever been told they're too small or from the wrong place. That's the real story here. Not just how a talented player became rich and famous, but how a kid with nothing became everything while never losing sight of who he really is.